Welcome to the Navia line. This journey will be returning to the court of Fontaine.
Let's go. The hotel. Wait, Child still hasn't- How is Child gonna find me to get his vision back? Wait.
I came here several times with my father when I was little, but stopped eating here as often after growing up. I hope the food here will be to your taste.
Oh, don't worry.
Paimon's
We
not
haven't
that
eaten
picky.
at a hotel like this in a while.
I don't think.
Paimon's getting excited already.
This is amazing.
Speaking of cases, do you think that the mastermind behind the serial disappearances will get caught soon now that this has all happened?
Well, we've certainly taken a big step forward,
Yeah.
but I feel that's about it. We know that there's an organization that means to dissolve these young women, but we still don't know what they are really after.
Yeah, like why do they want to do that?
If it hadn't happened right in front of us, Paimon wouldn't have ever believed that a person could be dissolved like that.
Right? Yet
It's
it
weird
was
that it's only people
because
from
this was such a
Fontaine.
preposterous notion that the investigation could never really move forward before.
Ugh. If only that guy could have finished speaking! We were so close to hearing who was behind it.
Let's talk about something else. Like, what are your future plans?
Well, we wanted to ask the Hydro Archon for some information, but we haven't really had much opportunity to do so.
That's true. We didn't have a chance to speak to her after the trial ended. It didn't really seem like the right time or place to do it anyway.
I see. So, your primary objective, which has been foiled so far, was to have a chat with the Hydro Archon. I've heard that there's a long line of people waiting to meet Lady Farina. I suspect you'll be waiting for quite a while, considering that you missed your chance today.
Yeah, we've heard that she's super popular here in Fontaine, and that it'll be tough getting any of her time.
Well, would you consider some more, unique ways? Perhaps even methods of, let's say, questionable legality?
Guess that's Spina di Rosula's boss for you. Chock full of sketchy ideas. Well, what did you have in mind?
Sneaking into her home.
Find a way to conceal yourselves under her bed. Then wake her up in the dead of night and demand answers. Don't let her go back to sleep until she answers all your questions. I can personally testify that this one works. When I'm sleepy, I'll do anything as long as I can finally get some sleep.
I don't think that would
That
work.
might work, but that's not really the problem. The problem is we don't want to get ourselves arrested.
Valid point. I overlooked that part. I
What?
was just thinking about leveraging a person's desire for sleep.
How can you overlook something like that?
You did defeat her in court, clearing citizens of hers from false accusations. False accusations she had nearly upheld personally. I imagine that she feels quite ashamed about the whole thing.
You mean that if we catch her while she's on a break, she might be too embarrassed to refuse? Oh, that does make some sense.
I mean, it's worth a try.
Why don't we give it a try after this meal? You know, strike while the iron is hot and all.
Oh my god.
Huh? Paimon, did you drink my Fanta?
Was this your drink? Sorry about that. Paimon wasn't really paying attention and the cup was right next to Paimon. Would you like to order another?
There's only 2 drinks anyway, like why don't you-
No, it's fine. We're just about done here.
Alright. Honestly, Paimon wouldn't recommend Fanta anyway. It tastes kind of salty and icky.
I'd have to agree.
Is that so? Huh. Well, in that case, we'll have to blacklist the Fanta here then. If we're all finished eating, then I'll go pay.
Yeah, we're stuffed. Thanks for the treat, Navia.
Thank you.
Okay. As for expenses this month, we're left with...
Hey, Navia, what are you doing over there?
Oh, nothing. It was just a meal, you know? Nothing the Spina di Rosula can't cover.
Ooh, seems like that was pretty tough for her.
Let's get ready to try to meet the Hydro Archon again. Bye, Navia!
Ciao, anyways. I just got back from there and I have to go there again. Are you joking? It's kind of like now that I know Child's like in this country, nation, I just want to see him all the time.
Vacher.
Looks like we're back here again. Huh? Traveler? Are you hearing voices again?
Yes, and it's clearer than it was during the day.
Ugh. That's kinda spooky.
Yes.
Are you sure we don't want to come back in the morning?
No.
Vache? Vache!
Who is Vache?
Hey, why are you still walking towards it? There might be something nasty in the water.
I can feel strong emotions. Things are getting a bit blurry.
Huh? Hang on. Paimon can kinda hear a voice. It's calling for Vache, right?
Now you can hear it!
Hey, traveler? Stop walking! Come on, wake up!
Another nation, another time that I fainted. Let's go. An Oceanic? Where's this?
Vache! Are you my dear Vache?
No, I'm sorry.
No, wait. You seem to be someone else. Do you know Vache? Do you know where my love is?
I'm afraid not.
Who am I? I'm very sorry. I fear I do not know. My memories feel like they have been washed away like a flood. So many fragments dissolved amidst the tide, never to be recovered.
Do you think that all the people in Fontaine are like descendants from like Oceanids, and that's why only they can dissolve into this water thingy, whatever it is? You were once human?
Yes, that is what I was once. But now, I am but the consciousness of one who has lost their form.
You lost your form.
I do not know how I came to be like this either. I only vaguely remember being covered in light blue water, and then all grew dim.
Could you be one of the dissolved girls?
No matter where I went, Vache would go with me. I knew how dearly he loved me, and I also loved him equally as much.
Do you need me to find him?
No, our reunion no longer has any meaning. There is no way for us to create any new memories. The thought of me gives him no succor. So let it lie forgotten beneath the waters. If you meet Vache, tell him not to look for me. Tell him to move on. That is the only thing I still remember.
I believe it will be hard for him to forget you.
Perhaps that is so. As I was submerged in the waters, losing consciousness, I saw Vache above the surface. His eyes were filled with such sorrow, such longing. If only I could have comforted him, told him that I did not suffer. Indeed, I had felt a great warmth.
That means Vache was a witness to the fact that you dissolved?
Is that what you call it? Dissolving?
Yes.
If anything, I consider it a form of release.
Release?
It was a state of neither fear nor frenzy, with only an endless peace, like the water's still surface.
It seems that after the body is dissolved, some measure of the consciousness still remains.
I think I hear your companion. It's time for you to go, I think.
Is that Paimon?
Farewell, then. I am glad that you were able to sense my presence. Remember, if you see Vache, tell him not to seek me out any longer.
But what if we can do something about this? What if you can get your body back?
Wake up! Come on, hurry!
What is going on?
He's outnumbered!
What? What is happening? What is going on? Nadia? Help! What? Papa!
Demoiselle, look out!
They're protecting me. What is happening?
Dear God, it's a whole army of Gardamex.
Hi.
Chlorand?
Why is she... Oh, wait. Are they malfunctioning, do you think? Because she's part of the guard. And aren't the robots so... as well?
Quick! Quick, now's our chance!
This music is good. Oh, they're fighting together. But why is she fighting the robots? What happened while I was asleep? It was so peaceful where I was, and then I wake up and everything's a mess. Thank you for saving me? No, nothing? Okay.
I should thank you for lending us your sword there, Clorand. But before I do so, could you explain how you managed to show up here?
I followed you. It seemed to me that danger has followed you more closely as of late.
I believe that following someone without their knowledge is actually called stalking, is it not?
Do they hate each other? Why?
Mr. Callus's last wish was for me to ensure your safety, and I will not betray his trust. He would do the same, were he alive today.
Your dad or something?
Do not speak of my father!
Sorry, I did not consider your feelings.
Whatever. What else do you know? How did you come to the conclusion that I'd be in grave danger?
I doubt I know much more than you, but I believe that the mastermind behind the serial disappearances is very powerful.
See, this is why I was thinking it was someone from the Fatui, but then the Fatui people said that they had nothing to do with it, so I'm confused now.
Your performance tonight will almost certainly attract their attention.
I'm sure they've known about me. To be honest, I'm shocked it's taken them this long to act against me. And what about these Gardamex? I thought only those associated with the Maison Gardiennage could control them.
None of these mecha have serial numbers. I was sure to check a moment ago. They are not the ones used by the authorities to enforce the law.
Ah.
I can only conclude that some powerful or wealthy party must have obtained them via illegal means, deploying them as a
Illegal?
private force of sorts.
Trial to the courts.
I will continue investigating no matter what. We will bring the truth to light. That's my father's true last wish. Regardless, thank you for your help today, Clorand. But if you get any ideas, tell me first. I don't much appreciate being followed.
I do not think that they'll strike again anytime soon. So I shall stop following you. Good day, all.
What just happened?
Oh, thank goodness! Paimon thought we were done for!
I'm okay, Paimon.
Those Gardamex came out of nowhere while you were unconscious, and Nadia and her gang saved us!
Thank you.
Oh, and there was that champion duelist named Clorand who came out to save us too! We got lucky there. Paimon probably couldn't have fought them off otherwise.
So you're a fighter now, Paimon. Thanks for the rescue, Navia.
Oh, come now. Forget all that polite talk. That wasn't really a farewell meal we had back there. Not for me, anyway. In truth,
You were the
I
one
hope
that called it
every
that.
meal we have together shall be a victory feast. As such,
Victory.
we're still partners. There's no need to thank me.
How did you know that we were in danger? You sure did show up in the nick of time.
Did she follow us here?
Well, to be honest, you're the one who tipped us off, Paimon.
What?
Huh? Really? Paimon contributed somehow? Ooh, Paimon's even more amazing than she thought!
Yes, all thanks to you grabbing my drink by mistake.
What?
How did that help?
After we parted ways, I was on the way back to one of our bases when I suddenly thought of what you said. That the Fanta tasted kind of salty and icky.
Wait, do you mean that...
Fanta only comes in sweet flavors. So how could it have tasted salty? The color of the drink, if I recall, had also been a bit off.
So the Fanta had been spiked with water from the primordial sea?
She almost...
Yes. So if you hadn't drunk that cup for me...
Spina di Rosula is preparing the grandest of awards for you as we speak for saving the boss.
Huh. Really?
Fortunately, Paimon, neither of us are from Fontaine, because otherwise we would have been...
I sent people to Hotel de Boer to investigate. But whoever did this left no trace at all. That's when I figured out that you might be in danger and hurried here as quickly as I could.
But Why would they go after us too? All we did was defend Lenny in court and help clear his name. Ugh, now we're caught up in this mess too, aren't we?
Well, you did foil a plan that they were probably pretty proud of.
Yo.
And almost got their name in the process.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, did anything strange happen when you drank the primordial seawater?
I did see some weird shit.
Well, it can't be coincidence that the traveler fainted just now. She said that she heard that voice calling for Vache again. Oh, and this time Paimon heard it too, but it was real faint. Does this situation have to do with the primordial seawater then?
According to Lynette, the ability to hear voices like that has to do with one's sensitivity to the hydro element.
Does that mean the primordial seawater raises someone's sensitivity to hydro when it's used on people who are not from Fontaine?
I guess that makes sense.
That doesn't sound like too much of a bad thing, to be honest.
I also gained some new intel.
New intel? While you were out cold?
Yep.
Well, let's hear it, shall we?
So, the voice in the fountain belonged to one of the missing women. A person named Vache was a witness when she dissolved.
Vache. That name doesn't ring a bell. I suppose he hasn't stepped forward as a witness in court lately. Since he saw that young woman dissolve, he was at least at the crime scene. But he never gave testimony or any information regarding people dissolving in the primordial seawater. Could he have been threatened?
If he's still alive.
We will continue to investigate.
Alright, partner. Count me in.
You mean you'll help us investigate?
Yeah, I'm in.
Well, you did say that our farewell meal didn't really count.
Well, in that case, let's head back to one of our bases, shall we? I'll arrange accommodations for you. We also have some plans to go over, and hopefully we can deepen our bonds as partners.
Yeah.
But we'll take that one step at a time, I guess.
Yep.
Don't worry, you two. With us around, our base is definitely secure.
Thank you, Silver. I will save you, whatever your name is. We're in the sewer system. That's disgusting. I'm not stepping in the water here. This is cool.
So, this is your base?
Under the present circumstances, I can confidently say it's the best we have.
Thank you. Don't be ungrateful. Thank you.
Well, our funds have been a little tight lately.
Do I need to help out? I am rich.
After all, we don't allow illegal or unethical profiteering. In fact, our funds often come from citizenry who support us.
Seems
nice.
like it's tough times for everyone. But if you have the support of the people, that does sound like it's worth it.
To be honest, our financial situation was a lot better back when my father was in charge a few years ago. I'm afraid I'm not quite his equal.
Your father, he was the previous boss of Spina di Rosula, right? How did he...
Demoiselle, if you'll allow me to explain.
No. I'll explain it myself. I suppose I couldn't run from this topic forever. And as partners, this is something I hope they can understand. My father's name is Callus. Yes, the same one they call Callus the Unfaithful in the streets. 3 years ago, he was accused of murdering his own friend. But he chose a duel to defend his honor instead of standing trial. He died in the duelist's ring.
Ooh.
Oh no.
But I do not believe my father was a murderer. I'm sure he was set up.
Then why did he not just stand trial?
At the time, I believed that if he only stood trial and was duly investigated, something amiss would crop up and prove his innocence.
Then why didn't he do that?
But strangely, he not only requested the duel himself, but rumor has it that even after being seriously injured, to the point where he could be deemed as having lost the duel, he refused to surrender, determined to die in the arena.
Why?
3 years later, I still don't understand why he did that. How could he protect his honor if he's dead? If anything, he gave up his chance to defend himself.
It does seem quite odd.
The closest piece of info I have is that my father had been investigating the serial disappearances case at the time of his death.
Ah, so that's why you're so determined to get to the bottom of that
I
case.
get it now. Seeking the truth for the sake of your family. That's what I'm doing!
Wait, if Callus was such a good man, wouldn't people at least be a little suspicious when he was accused?
No. Perhaps people just revel in that kind of drama.
We do.
It's not something exclusive to people from Fontaine, really.
I've already noticed
Everyone's
that.
like that.
Yeah.
People love watching the evil turn over a new leaf, but they also enjoy watching good people fall into an abyss from one slip-up just as much.
But how could... never mind. If Callus was really falsely accused, we have to find the truth. He didn't deserve to have that happen to him.
There is one other thing. Master Callus's opponent in the duel was Ms. Clorand. Afterward, Ms. Clorand told us that at the start of the duel, Master Callus requested that she ensure Demoiselle Navia's safety.
Then that indicates that he intended to die in the duel.
Yes, that is our understanding as well.
Oh, Papa. What madness drove you to ask the person who killed you to take care of me? All right, anyway, that's the information I wanted to share with you. Even if it did sound like I was just complaining towards the end.
No, it's alright. I understand how important this is to you.
Thanks. You two should go and rest. This was quite a day after all.
Paimon slept so well. This place feels almost too safe. Huh? Navia? Where did the other two go?
I sent them back to Poisson. I did some investigating yesterday regarding the name Vacher.
Wait, so you didn't sleep at all?
How could I after having such critical new evidence appear?
Guess Paimon wasn't speaking for everyone just now, huh?
Unfortunately, this name seems to have been wiped from existence. It doesn't seem to have a match anywhere.
That's some bullshit.
I suspect that those behind this have already taken steps to hinder an investigation from this angle. But that does prove that this Vacher person is a key witness in the incident.
Who is it?
Does that mean we're too late, though?
No. There is one ray of hope. One place in Fontaine that they would find almost impossible to threaten, no matter how much they wanted to.
The god.
And that is the archives kept by Chief
Mind.
Justice Neuvillette.
Oh.
A place where detailed files on all the cases in recent years are kept. If the Oceanette you met is one of the young women who went missing recently, we should be able to find some related information there.
I don't know if it was recent though. Like the first case started 20 years ago?
So Neuvillette maintains an archive of case files? Whew. Guess that's the hard-working Chief Justice for you. In that case, let's go talk to him, shall we? Aren't you coming along now?
We have some history with him.
No, it's nothing. Let's go see the Honorable Chief Justice.
She really doesn't like him or something. There's something up with that.
Please come in.
G'day, sir. How big this office is. Oh. Hello! I shouldn't be talking to you like that, but...
Please let me know how I may be of assistance to you.
He's so nice.
We're looking for a man called Vacher. He may have been an eyewitness in the serial disappearances case. If we can find him, we may be able to unearth some key information on the case.
Ah, I see. In that case, please wait here a moment while I browse through the files.
Okay.
Who knew that Neuvillette would be so easy to talk to?
Right? His eyes are so cool. I already said that, but...
Unfortunately, I'm quite certain that no one by the name of Vacher has been involved in any case, criminal or civil, in the past several years.
Well, why would he be in a case? That's my question.
There are no records of him either in the files or in my memory.
Guess that's that. We're back to square one.
Traveler, what if it was really just a dream?
No, it wasn't.
Is that so? All right then. Thank you so much, Monsieur Neuvillette. We'll take our leave now.
Ahem.
Why did you...
Miss Navia, I can understand how you feel. Your father, Callus, was a truly exceptional man. We deeply regret his passing.
And what are you trying to say, Monsieur Neuvillette? Are you trying to console me? Extend your sympathy? or just express some tendril of regret. No, you are not trying to do any of that. I can hear it in your voice. There's no emotion behind your words. You only said those things because you felt like you should. It's just like last time. After my father took his place in the duelist ring, I pushed through the guards to talk to you as a last resort. You even told me then that you thought there was something fishy with the case, yet you still allowed the duel to go ahead. In your eyes, the value of a human life is nothing compared to those cold laws you hold so dear. If you truly regret my father's death, then why didn't you call a stop to the duel? Why didn't you give me the power to stop him from throwing his life away? Why did you just let him die, despised and hated by all? Everything was hanging on a thread at that moment. Just the tiniest effort could have changed everything. There are still so many things I never got to tell him. So many questions he still owes me answers to. If you really have no heart, then just look me in the eyes. I, Navia, will show you the true meaning of regret.
I'm sorry, Miss Navia.
You and my father are truly alike. You keep all kinds of things in your heart and never say a word to anyone. It's not so much that you can't feel, but that you would never express anything. Oh well. In any case, everyone already knows full well the apathy of the Chief Justice. My apologies for taking my emotions out on you, Monsieur Chief Justice. Let's go, Traveler in Paimon.
Let's go. Now I get why she didn't really want to go. You okay?
Navia, are you okay?
It's raining.
I'm fine.
It's raining.
Rain. It's raining.
You're right. Wasn't it still sunny when we went into the building? And there shouldn't be any active trials today. How strange.
It's something got to do with Novelette, isn't it?
Now that I think of it, on the day my father was convicted of murder, it was also raining.
Rain.
What is it? Did you think of something?
Your father's case, was he outside when it happened?
Yeah, he was outside. It was uncovered and the rain could fall there. Why? Do you think the rain could have affected the crime scene? That thought has occurred to us before. We've even expanded the search area to try to account for that, but didn't find anything of value.
But there was something you didn't know at the time.
Oh? Wait. You don't mean...
The fact that people can be turned into water.
So you're saying that the true murderer could have been turned into water? And then got washed away with the rain? Yeah. And if that's what had happened, then no one would have believed your dad, even if he explained what he saw to the authorities.
I really think I found a true genius for a partner.
Thank you.
Let's go to Poisson. With this new lead in mind, we'll get to the bottom of my father's case for sure.
Oh, look at that. This is reminding me of some, like, Pirates of the Caribbean stuff.
Malouse, we're back!
Apologies for the wait, demoiselle, and our most important partners. You said before that you still had some business at the court. What brings you back to Poisson so quickly?
About that. It's because my partner here reminded me of something really important. You see, what if my father's case had something to do with water from the primordial sea? You still remember, right, Malouse? On that night, it was raining?
Yes, the case was quite similar to that of Mr. Linney's. Both were what you'd call impossible murders.
Could the mastermind be the same person?
Could you tell us a bit more about what happened before?
Yeah, of course. Many years ago, something called synth began to gain popularity in Poisson. At a glance, it was a kind of drink that could excite your mood and produce many pleasant hallucinations.
Oh, it's the drug, right?
Wait! Didn't that guard guy who turned into water also mention that the primordial water could be used to produce some kind of potion?
Exactly.
Yes, he did. Considering what we know now, it's almost certain that synth is created using water from the primordial sea. If you drink synth for an extended amount of time, you'll suffer many side effects, such as losing the ability to focus or control your emotions. And if you were to stop drinking it completely, you'll experience flashes of paranoia and anxiety while lacking energy to do anything.
Dang.
It's an extremely dangerous substance. As he oversaw Poisson, my father was compelled to put a stop to synth abuse and called for a complete ban of it.
Boss's uncompromising attitude incurred the synth vendor's wrath, but no matter how much they threatened or bribed him, he refused to yield. Not only that, Boss became determined to find the mastermind behind the synth operation and put an end to the problem once and for all.
Yes, but the enemy was very cunning. So he could never get anything out of the dealers, all of whom only sold the stuff and weren't privy to the rest of the operation. Recognizing that, my father decided to contact the dealers in secret and cultivate personal relationships with them. Finally, he was able to convince someone to become his informant. The man's name was Jacques. He felt greatly ashamed about his work after seeing many families destroyed by synth abuse. That night, my father hosted a banquet at his countryside estate. He planned to meet up and exchange information with Jacques over some food. But then, we heard 2 gunshots from the courtyard. We raced to the scene and found my father, still holding a gun, and Jacques, who was already dead on the ground.
Huh? How did that happen? Aren't they on the same side?
Exactly.
Sounds just like Lenny's case, doesn't it? In both cases, the culprit seemed obvious, but neither appeared to have any motive at all. Looking back on it, though, I now believe the most important clue was something we all overlooked at the time. There were pieces of clothing left at the scene.
So they could have belonged to someone who got dissolved.
Precisely. It's all thanks to you that I made the connection now. Back then, we all just thought they were some costumes that Jacques used to disguise himself at the banquet. But, considering it now, it's almost certain that they belong to a third person at the scene. With one extra person, we'll also need to reconsider why the 2 shots were fired.
Maybe your father got into an argument with Jacques, but it's also possible that the third person was to blame.
You're right. We still don't know what happened. But my intuition tells me that we're on the right track to figuring it all out.
I think...
I'm finally headed towards the truth.
Good for you, girl. I think that the third person came in, and then he shot that guy, and then her dad shot the person, and then dissolved himself because he was gonna die. I don't fucking know.
Jacques was an empathetic man who was infinitely remorseful for his past actions. It's unlikely that he turned on Boss with 0 warning. I think this third person is probably the key to the full truth. This is indeed the best moment to act. Your partner appears to be quite reliable, and more importantly, Demoiselle, I think you're also ready to take this on.
So you do know something else, Malouse?
Yes, I do. In fact, even before that banquet, Boss already knew of the connection between Synth and the serial disappearances case.
Wait, what?
But what drove all the tensions to the boiling point was the revelation that you, Demoiselle, had been selected as the next target to disappear.
What?
Boss also didn't tell you that he had been diagnosed with a rare illness. The doctors told him that he had no more than 5 years left to live. And the serial disappearances case caused him great anxiety. 5 years was nowhere near enough time to resolve this long-standing conflict.
Nope.
But once he passed away, all the danger would pass on to you. Knowing all of this, he decided to use one final intimidation tactic before his death. He claimed to have already gotten his hands on some key incriminating evidence for the other side, and even told some members of Spina di Rosula about the details. But as long as you remained safe, he would not share the evidence with the public. If something were to happen to you, then he and all those he told would immediately expose all they knew about Synth and the disappeared victims.
Right, so nobody would be able to get off scot-free.
As we've seen, Boss's tactic has worked. Even though Boss has been gone for a long time, The other side has not tried to take Demoiselle's life.
No, I don't believe it. He never appeared to look sick to me.
No father wants their daughter to see them weak and haggard, especially someone as proud as Boss.
No.
To him, dying in a duel and suffering lasting dishonor as the unfaithful was still far preferable than losing face in front of his daughter.
Dang.
So he chose to die in silence, so that he could protect me.
I'm afraid you're not understanding this correctly, Demoiselle. What Boss wanted to hand to you was not a parasol, but a sword. If Boss's spirit could hear you telling me that you want to find the answer for the sake of everyone involved, I'm sure he'd be extremely proud.
That fool. Couldn't he have just given it to me straight? No. He might have set up everything precisely because he never thought I'd be able to understand him. Is that the amount of confidence he had in me?
This girl is really going through
And
it.
what if I was never able to make it to where I am now?
He gave you the choice to live how you want.
Yeah. I suppose that's true. With the way he'd set things up, if I had wanted, I could have just lived out my life without a care in the world. But thankfully, he rarely talked to me about complex matters, and thus understood little of me as a person. In this case, he really didn't need to give me an easy way out. Huh. Malus, what was the key evidence that he shared with you?
It's the location where synth is produced. Essentially, it's the enemy's headquarters. When he was threatening the enemy, Boss didn't share the specifics of the incriminating evidence he found. But if you want to use it against the enemy, you'll still have to take several things into consideration.
If we know where the place is, can't we just go storming in?
You mustn't forget that we're fighting against a mysterious and dangerous organization that's been in operation for decades. There's no telling what might be lying in wait at their headquarters. We also have no idea what kind of evidence we may be able to find inside, nor what people we may be able to capture.
But now you have me.
But a single visit to their headquarters would be tantamount to a formal declaration of war.
I want to go.
The worst case would be that we leave empty-handed, but also open ourselves up to full retaliation.
Then, in that case, why not work with the Fontaine authorities?
Well, you saw one of them dissolve during Mr. Linney's case. We have no idea just how thoroughly they may have been infiltrated.
Right.
Huh. That's true. Seems my father really had no choice. But things are different now. It should be a lot easier to prove the other side's guilt, now that we've connected Synth with the disappearances case.
You sound like you've put a lot of thought into this, Malus.
I am the
What if
butler,
he's
after all.
the bad guy?
I live but to serve the boss and Demoiselle's
I don't
will.
trust anyone at this point.
I've always been willing to take on any kind of risk for your sake.
Yeah, no, he's not the
But
bad guy.
considering my relative lack of ability, I've spent my time keeping secrets, performing basic investigations, and waiting for the right time to come.
Thank you for all of that, Malus. Have you discovered anything new in the past few years?
Let me think. One conclusion I came to was that the enemy must be quite familiar with Spina di Rosula, or at least have an informant planted here.
What if it's silver?
When I announced orders to the
I'm sorry.
organization's members on Demoiselle's behalf, I used to deliberately keep a few people in the dark and observe the reactions of the synth vendors. If the vendors didn't change their plans, then the individuals informed of our orders must be innocent. If the vendors packed up and fled, however, then someone must have given them the news. After several rounds of testing and investigative tracing, I've narrowed the suspect list down to 3 people. The first is Florent, Spina di Rosula's senior advisor. Marcel, the head of Confrérie of Cabrières. The final suspect is Thierry, the man responsible for coordinating information between Spina di Rosula and the guards.
I see. These are all people who I communicate with quite regularly. To think that the enemy we've been fighting against has been right next to me all along, among those I trust the most. It's
almost too hard to believe.
If you want to investigate them, please take every precaution to not alert the quarry. Judging from our experience, the enemy is extremely cautious.
As they should be.
Of course. And
So
thank
otherwise
you,
I'll come for
Malus.
them.
You've provided us with a lot of great information.
Yep, thank you.
You're too kind, my lady. I'm just doing my duty.
What if it's actually him?
And before I forget, proving Boss's innocence would also mean clearing him of blame in Jacques' death. After that incident, Jacques' wife and daughter were taken into the Spina's care. They still live in Poisson today. If it might help, you could also pay them a visit. I can make the necessary arrangements.
Oh, thank you so much, Malus. You really are the best.
A new case awaits, my dear partner.
Leave it to me.
I hope we can work together to uncover the truth and end this case once and for all.
Case records! I got an entire new case right now.